Beautiful people, I'm back. What's up with y'all? It's your boy Zach here again, breaking down another movie today. And today we're going to talk about a movie, a classic, The Talented Mr. Ripley. Y'all, listen, went to a job interview, I came home, took a nap, I watched this movie, hadn't seen it in a couple years, forgot how great it was. And I said, I gotta make a video and share it with my beautiful audience. So, without further ado, The Talented Mr. Ripley came out in 1999. It was directed by Anthony Minghella. It stars Matt Damon, Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Kate Blanchett, and it's about a gay con man in the 1950s who is tasked with going to Italy and bringing back this rich guy's son who is living as an expatriate in Italy. He goes there, he's enamored with the lifestyle, he's drawn into his world, he is fascinated by him and living with him and living that life that, he's just sucked in. And he's also, too, trying to find his identity. He's just a con man. He says, according to him, his three talents are forging signatures, lying, and impersonating practically anybody. This is a movie that I would say is about identity. I would say that it's about finding your true self, love, true love, having to hide who you really are, being ashamed of who you really are, trying to find, your true talents within yourself. And when we subvert our most deepest, sexual desires and also too wants and everything like that, I know some of y'all, may feel some type of way about that and whatnot. No judgment here, I'm just giving y'all the premise of the movie. But when we subvert these things, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, that's when we become sick. And I think that's what happens with the Tom Ripley character played by Matt Damon. Because he was living in New York City, he played the piano for certain people, mainly rich people. And on top of that, he conned his way into going to Europe. He borrowed a jacket from a guy that went to Princeton, and when he met the guy, tried to follow me, that he was going to get back, he met his pops at a party where he was playing the piano. He puts on the jacket, and he says, "Hey, do you know my son, Dickie Greenleaf?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course, yeah, you know what I'm saying, that's my boy, we go back, we go way back like wave caps." No, I'm just playing, let me stop joking around. But, he tells him, "Yeah, I know Dickie," and he says, "Okay, well, can you go over to Europe and bring him back?" So, he does this. He goes over to Europe. He's trying to bring him back and whatnot and everything like that. Talking to him, then he gets sucked into the lifestyle. He falls in love with Dickie's lifestyle and the way he's living and the whole jazz scene in Italy and, just everything about the beautiful country of Italy and, going to the different restaurants and riding on motorbikes and hanging out on boats at sea and learning how to sail and this, that, and the third. And then, him and Dickie have a moment when they're in the bathroom together. You think they're about to have a gay moment. Is Dickie bisexual? Is he not? We all know Tom, he in the movie is gay. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then, eventually nothing happens. But then what does happen is Philip Seymour Hoffman shows up. He is the biggest douchebag ever. He's a fucking dickhead. People like him. He's friends with Dickie. But me personally, I hated this motherfucker. I wanted to punch his ass right in the goddamn face. Man, he was such a dick in this movie. And then, he shows up on the scene. Dickie starts spending more time with him and slowly becomes bored of Tom's character, that's played by Matt Damon. And then, all hell eventually breaks loose. There's this girl that Dickie was fucking with on the side. She ends up drowning herself because Dickie is with Gwyneth Paltrow's character. And, he's fucked up over that. And then, he eventually tells Tom, we've had fun. It's time for you to go. You can't pay your own way. He gets bored of him. Gets bored of the brother. So then they're on the boat. They're arguing back and forth. Tom basically professes his feelings for Dickie, telling him, hey, listen, we had that moment in the bathroom, in the bathtub and shit like that and blah, 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 blah. And then, he goes off on him and, tells him, you're a leech. You can be quite boring. You're always acting like this and that, da-da-da-da-da. Really belittling him. And the rage just grows over Tom Ripley. And he bashes him on the head with the oar of the boat. And his bloody body's laying there, and he lies down and holds him. For anybody that doesn't want to see all this, gay stuff, I understand totally. It doesn't bother me. I understand it's just a movie. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a great movie, very entertaining, filled with great themes. You know what I'm saying? Great performances, great direction. So, I'm just putting it out there. Y'all watch it, I'm just saying. There is no, gay kissing and, love scenes. I know that makes some people uncomfortable. I ain't trying to sound homophobic or nothing type shit. I'm just letting y'all know, because, some people feel type of way about that and religion and all that type of mess, but we ain't got to get on that. I'm just giving y'all the movie breakdown. Whether y'all want to go see it or not, that's on y'all. So, anyway, what happens is this. He kills him, goes back to his girlfriend, tells him that, he's been, decided to stay in Rome. She's like, what? And then, he basically steals his identity, ends up living under his name. He's manipulating the people that are around him, telling him, he decided to, he's here and he's there, and, oh, I saw him, but he punched me in the face and this and that, and he's manipulating, the people around him. Say, I haven't seen Dickie. Meanwhile, Tom Ripley is living as Dickie. Try to follow me now. Go see the movie. It's awesome. It's great. One of the best of 1999. One of the best of all time. One of Matt Damon, if not his best performance, I guarantee you. And it's also, too, based upon a book. And I apologize for not knowing the name of the author. But anyway, eventually, Dickie's friend Freddie, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who is, like I said, the biggest dickhead I've ever seen, probably in movie history. One of them, definitely one of them for sure. He shows up, and, he realizes, he looks around the apartment. He's like, this don't even look like some furniture Dickie would pick out. You know what I'm saying? This is like kind of some bullshit. And, he just, looks down upon him and everything like that. Tom grows enraged. And then, eventually he leaves, but he comes back because he said, that's, didn't see Dickie. The lady, like the housekeeper, or like the, whoever the woman was working in the apartment speaks Italian, said, no, that's Dickie Greenleaf. That's Dickie Greenleaf. So, he's basically like, he goes back upstairs to find out what the fuck is going on. And when he does, he ends up killing him, hits him with like this big kind of like cement, like head statuette type of thing, bashes him over the head with it. And then, he just fucking, kills him. And then, walks him out to his car, acts like he's drunk, puts him in the car, drives off. And, the police are hounding down on him. And eventually, he has to kill the fact that he's acting like Dickie. And, write a suicide letter. And, he meets another one of, I think, Dickie's friends, who's like this gay guy. And, they two kind of form a bond and, messing around, falling in love with each other. And slowly over time. And, everybody, a lot of people, Gwyneth Paltrow, Dickie's girlfriend, she sees through his bullshit. She sees right through it. She's like, no, I know you killed Dickie, da-da-da-da-da-da, this, that, and the third and everything. And, eventually, though, Dickie's father hires a private investigator, and then, they come to the conclusion that, Tom didn't do it, even though he really did. And, it turns out Dickie had a violent history at Princeton, and, he almost killed a dude over a girl, and, this, that, and third, and, they just want to sweep all this under the rug, and they're going to give Tom an inheritance, like some of Dickie's inheritance money transferred over to Tom's name if he keeps quiet about all this shit. So then, in the end, he basically gets away with the murders he's committed, and, Gwyneth Paltrow, Dickie's girlfriend, she doesn't believe it, but the pops believes it. The other friend, like, the gay guy that he's forming this relationship with, he believes it. The fucking the police, they believe it. The private eye investigator believes it. So Dickie gets away. That's all I'm gonna give y'all for now. This is a great movie. I highly recommend that you go watch it. Like I said, it's got a lot of core themes of masculinity and sexual identities, sexual orientation, and how far you will go to live a beautiful, I can't say American because it's in Europe, but a dream of being, this guy with this wonderful life who lives wealthy and, carefree. How far would you go to do that? How far would you go to find love and find peace in your life? And, what the consequences of, I think, it's just Zach Mayo's thoughts and opinions, what happens when you subvert these, core sexual feelings that you have, how they can really make you sick, y'all. I'm just saying, that's how I feel. But, I would say this is a great movie. I would give this bitch an 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. It was really entertaining, great story, great writing, great direction. And like I said, this is one of the best movies that came out in '99. I highly recommend that y'all go see it, that you watch it. It's on Netflix right now. Where I watched it, do it. And as always, I love y'all. I fuck with y'all. I rock with y'all. Y'all rocking with your boy. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know any movies y'all want me to do. And until next time, peace.